Okay, we're back. All right, so we're going to start another training um, with Ames Web. We've kind of had a training that talked about progress monitoring schedules. This training we're going to focus on showing graphs and how to be more specific and have program descriptions on there so you can really be successful at an IEP meeting and really be helpful in terms of showing how the parents how their children are doing. And it just makes the more visuals you have, the better off, in my opinion. So we're going to click on the progress monitoring tab. For training purposes, I have set up some students ahead of time, and I'll kind of give you an idea what I'm talking about. So if you can take a look at this graph, just looking at the trend line, it is kind of not necessarily boring in the fact that the kid's doing really well, but it's not. The only thing that you have to go off of is that Tessa is a fifth grader and we're using fifth grade probes. All right, but there could be a situation to where you have a student that's at the fifth grade level but might not be being progress monitored on fifth grade level probes. So it could look something like this. Students starting off with fourth grade probes, however they're in fifth grade. It just has more visuals here and it gives you more information as to where the students are. So you can clearly look at this graph and see that, okay, even though if you were just to look at this trend line, you were thinking that the kid's doing really well, and it could potentially be misleading at an IEP meeting when you're going over your information. Even though you can verbally say that student is still at below grade level, but it just really helps that you have fourth grade here, so it's really clean cut. Kids doing really well on fourth grade probes, and you got to the point to where you reached your goal. And I just made a note here that she's going to be monitored with fourth grade probes until she reaches the 25th percentile. She will be moved up to grade level at this time. Now I just quickly put that in. You can put whatever you want in there, but I don't even know if this is the 25th percentile, but it looks pretty good. So I got to a certain point and I stopped, and I wanted to begin. I gave a fifth grade level probe, and then we started and created a new goal. So obviously moving up a grade level might move the student down on the graph, but at least now we're on grade level here where they're supposed to be. So we created a new goal here, and even your errors are still there. And then you can put another note in December that is now being monitored on grade level probes. Could be that simple. So I want to show you how to do that. So we're going to go back in and we're going to create a new student. We're going to manage students. We're going to find a fifth grader, and we're going to search, and we're going to let's get John. And just for training purposes again, I'm going to quickly go through this because you've already seen this in an earlier training. So I'm going to pick September 1st, and I'm going to go through, let's go through June 1st again. We're going to do it every other week. And let's save. We're going to enter the goal. Okay, assessment grade level is fifth grade, and we're going to say it's 100 with 3. They might be fifth grade, but we're going to say that they're in fourth grade probes. And you can put any description in here you want. You can put fourth grade, this time test. And the goal is to get that student, let's say that you're wanting to get them up to the 50th percentile, you're wanting to get them to the, maybe you're only wanting them to get to the 10th percentile or 15th percentile. So we'll pick whatever that goal is. We'll say we want it to be 120. at 3 years. So we've created our goal. All right. So when you look at your graph, clean cut, but we have 5th grade, and we have 5th grade reading progress monitoring passages. I think I made an error there. Let's go back into that goal. And let's look at that again. I meant that it's like 4th grade there. So we'll look at that graph again. So students in 5th grade, but being monitored on 4th grade probes. Okay, so you can see where you can switch that back and forth. All right, so let's go back and start entering some data. Again, I like to look at it in all the weeks, so I can go through there. All right, let's enter 101, 4 errors. Let's see, the next week you got 113, 3 errors. The next week, 120, 3 errors. And you usually want, before you determine that they're at the 20th percentile, you want to get at least 3 data points. So if you get close, maybe you don't wait a week or 2 weeks. Maybe you plug in 121 here with 3 errors, and maybe you get 125, 5 errors, and the next week you get 127. You know, the student's right where you're wanting them to be. So you plug out all that data, and you hit save. So obviously it's showing John as above target. Clearly where we want him to be with 4th grade level. All right, so we can even add a nice little program description on there too. Even though we have it down here, I can click back, go to my scores. That's where you do this. And again, it's really helpful when you put all weeks, because you'll see once you enter the first data point, it won't let you change anything on there. Again, you can pick your probes here if you want to, but here it asks you to do intervention or intervention information. You can put 4th grade probes here if you'd like, or if it's a 7th grader that's on 5th grade probes, or however you want to do it. You can add description here if you'd like. We can put test 4th grade, and you add, and it gives you a yellow box there. You didn't have to put any scores in, but you just put some information here. So if you save, let's take a look what we did. Okay, look at that. 4th grade probes. Okay, and it puts that little line there that says that's when you started it. And then down here it gives you a box here for what you entered, 4th grade probes. You can put whatever you want. Description. So let's go back, go into the scoring section, and open them up. All right, so the student's doing really, really well, and he's right where you want him to be. Here, so now you want to give him a 5th grade probe and see where he comes out. So with the 5th grade probe, see, he comes out and he gets 97 with 4 errors. Okay, so you have to save that first. All right. The reason you have to save it because this is what you have to do before it'll allow you to change the goal. Okay, so once you enter that information, you save it. It asks you if you want to change the goal. That's what the G means. So here, goal's correct. Now we can say that we're doing 5th grade probes. Say we're shooting for 120 now with 4 errors. The key here is putting 5th grade level probes, and you can put in your description here if you want, and you hit save. And save. Now if you look at your graph, now granted it's not doing really well. The goal was probably not as high, but as you can see the idea here, 4th grade, 5th grade, and you have your data here. And everything is spelled out as far as when you started at 4th grade and you moved up to 5th grade. So the key for this training was just to show you guys how to start a goal, and you can change it midway. Okay, you can change it midway. And notice how this still says 4th grade. If you want to change that to show 5th grade, we can certainly do that. Let's go into the original goal statement and change it back to 5th grade. Okay, now when you look at your graph, it now says 5th grade and 5th grade. Now, since we're working with students with IEPs, this is the way that I've kind of customized it so you can create the graphs that you want. Reporting on graphs, you can click this little drop down box and expand it. And if you just wanted to print a chart, you can just print the chart. If you wanted to print everything with the statements and everything, you can hit display that, and of course it gives you everything. We have this nice function here. If you want to email it to a parent, email it to yourself, or if you want to save a PDF version, you can certainly print the PDF version, or you can save it to your desktop and then email it later if you want to. So pretty cool stuff. Hope that was helpful, and that concludes our training for today.